Good evening. What you're about to witness is an unrehearsed, uncensored interview on the issue of birth control. It will be a free discussion of an adult topic, a topic that we feel merits public examination. My name is Mike Wallace. The cigarette is Philip Morris.
I just knew if it could be done, it had to be done, and I did it. These were the words of 20-year-old daredevil Gertrude Ederle after she became the first woman to swim the entire length of the English Channel. Braving rough seas, frigid water, and stinging jellyfish, the American lass made the trip from France to England in 14 hours and 31 minutes, breaking the established men's record by more than 2 hours. After the feat, Ederle was honored with a ticker tape parade down New York's Fifth Avenue.
1920s were a time of great achievements for women. There was a new freedom in the game, inspired perhaps by the events and victories of World War I. Women were learning to fight for independence, both from their families and the idea that they had to find success through marriage. Many found in this decade an independent lifestyle and success that would have proved almost impossible before. The following photographs are an attempt to convey the new attitudes of women at the time. As such, many women are photographed but not mentioned, and several mentioned are not photographed. Alice Paul, founder of the National Women's Party, and Carrie Chapman Catt, president of the National American Women's Suffrage Association, found their great success when in 1918, President Woodrow Wilson suddenly changed his position on women's suffrage, citing the ability for women voters to help with the war effort. On July 4, 1920, the Senate passed an amendment prohibiting state or federal gender-based restrictions on voting, and later that year the 19th Amendment became law. The most important success for women across America is undoubtedly the passage of this amendment. In the aftermath of the Industrial Revolution, and in the rise of corporate America, women found a place in the labor market as well. Positions in factories and in office settings began to open up. Positions such as typist, filing clerk, stenographer, many so-called pink-collar jobs, were monotonous and provided little opportunity for advancement. However, these jobs provided many women with a new means for independence and self-sufficiency. During the 1920s, women made a huge impact on the world of sports, although in many cases it would still be several decades before an equal playing field was to be seen. Still, many athletes gained notoriety through their achievements. Helen Wills dominated the American and international tennis competitions, winning a total of 31 major championships and at one point enjoying 180 straight matches without losing a set. In the sport of golf, two women stand out for their successes. Glenna Collier won numerous golf championships throughout the 20s, and at one point holding the position of captain for the United States Curtis Cup team before being inducted into the Golf Hall of Fame. Edith Cummings is even more famous for her success in this sport, winning the 1923 Women's Amateur, and in the following year, becoming both the first golfer and the first woman on the cover of Time magazine. In 1923, the first major track and field event is held for women in Newark, New Jersey. Phyllis Green became the first woman to clear the 5-foot barrier in the high jump 2 years later. Perhaps the most well-known female athlete of the time was Gertrude Ederle, who at the age of 19 in 1926 swam the English Channel and broke the world record previously held by a man, footage of which is included in the beginning of this film. In the world of fashion, perhaps no one has found as much success and renown as Gabrielle Chanel. Known to the world as Coco, she is the only fashion designer to be named in Time magazine's 100 most influential people of the 20th century. During the 1920s, Chanel went from her hobby of making hats to owning her own fashion empire, designing and pioneering the famous Little Black Dress, as well as her fragrance, Chanel No. 5. Despite going on to become a Nazi agent during World War II, she enjoyed success and status for the rest of her life. Several female entertainers also found great success during this era. Among them, Bessie Smith became known as the Queen of the blues, with her first record, Downhearted Blues, selling over 2 million copies. The 20s were a time of great success for women. This success came, for many, with great difficulties. That these difficulties were surmounted is a testament to the fierce spirit and determination of the many women taking part in it. It would be a long time still before true equality was achieved, but these women, along with far too many to list now, helped shape today's modern woman and helped give her the equality she deserves.
I said, well, caliche is harder than any rock, and it is about 3 inches below the ground, where it looks beautiful. It looks as if you could have food, it looks as if you could have corn or wheat or cotton, but as a matter of fact, you have to dynamite caliche out of the ground in order to have a little shrub, have a little grass or a few flowers. So many problems that